11,000 soldiers, veterans, academics push Netanyahu to end the Gaza war, or more accurately, the Gaza genocide, signing various petitions demanding an immediate ceasefire in Gaza and the return of the Israeli captives. According to this report in Palestine Chronicle, they said these figures are based on publicly known initiatives reported by Israeli media and likely represent only a portion of a broader growing dissent within Israeli society, which is very accurate. Because if those who are publicly speaking now, going out saying outright, that's it, we are declaring dissent or declaring an outright refusal to serve in the army, something that was considered a taboo, then you're talking about something that's most likely much bigger than what we're seeing in front of our eyes. And this letter is based on the initial letter coming from the pilots in the Israeli Air Force, who stated that Netanyahu is pushing this war for his own interest. He's not putting this war for the security of Israel or for what they call the hostages, and there are innocent civilians being killed. That's what's happening. And now this is leading to what? This is leading to more problems with the army, with people going to the army. You already have over 50% refusal. In Israel, they're saying, at best we have 60 to 70% compliance. When they say at best, that means the average is even more than a half not complying with orders to serve in the army. Imagine a half of your army refusing to serve. Can someone grasp that? Can someone understand that? They're downplaying all of that. No, it's serious. It's very big. It's very important. And now it reached a level where the IDF chief of staff is telling Netanyahu the same thing. That's it. There's too much shortage. We can't have these ambitions of Benjamin Netanyahu being fulfilled inside of the Gaza Strip. That's it. Chief of staff told the political echelon, there is a great shortage of fighters. The ambition in Gaza cannot be realized this way, cannot be implemented, cannot be achieved. And he is basically telling Benjamin Netanyahu, we can't take this anymore publicly. And that's the chief of staff that came after Netanyahu forced the previous chief of staff, Herzi Halevi, to resign. This was assumed to be a man who would be more compliant with Netanyahu. Clearly, well, he's still a criminal. All of them are criminals. I mean, this isn't no whitewashing anyone here. But he's telling Benjamin Netanyahu the real picture. What's the real picture? We don't have enough reservists. We do not have enough reservists to fight. We cannot achieve any of the objectives of the war that you want. And we need to find a solution. We need to find a solution, meaning a political solution, not a solution based on a continuation of the war, based on what we've done so far. Why? Because we can't operate. Over 50% refusal. And I'm being very conservative when I say that, because in Israel, in multiple reports, they're saying the best type of compliance rate is between 60 to 70%. And you can take, again, that's something very, very unlikely, by the way, because 50% was like last year anyway. So we're almost in a state of the majority refusing to serve. Now, if we want to be, like, again, conservative, you'll say 50%. 50%, this state is established on its army. It's a state of an army. So they can't have this situation where over 50% are complying. And in these reports, and alongside the talks that are coming from the IDF chief of staff about outright not being able to achieve any of Benjamin Netanyahu's objectives in Gaza because of this shortage, and he's declaring that to the world, because of our shortage, we cannot achieve anything in Gaza. Everyone who has any relevant experience in the field is telling Benjamin Netanyahu, mean, some people are criticizing the IDF chief of staff, even with this statement, because they're telling him you're like a yes man for Benjamin Netanyahu, and you need to be more persistent than that. Now, he's trying to show that he has a level of independence, but what he's saying now is a reflection of reality. Finally, a reflection of reality that is being made public. This is something very big, that an IDF chief of staff says we cannot basically implement or achieve our objectives in Gaza because we have too much shortage. That is something very problematic for Israel, and it's very, very questionable how long Benjamin Netanyahu can continue down this genocide. And the more time goes by, the worse it gets for him internally. He might think to himself that he's making things more convenient for him by surrounding himself with yes men. But we all know what happens to the people who surround themselves with yes men who don't even give them an ounce of reflection and a reality check, especially during a war that they themselves consider to be an existential war.